Shrimp Amatriciana with pasta. What is Amatriciana? Amatriciana is a Roman word, which means from the town of Matricia. Pasta Amatriciana is known all over Italy for the fact that it's made with pancetta. This particular dish of shrimp and pancetta is a unique combination. The only thing that I've done somewhat different is the usage of white wine instead of the typical red wine that you use for making matriciana. But what makes this dish amazing is the marriage between the shrimp and the pancetta, a marriage made in heaven. And I want to show you exactly how to make a dish that will forever be etched in your memory as the best thing you've ever done. The oil, extra virgin olive, is getting nice and hot. To the oil, what I like to do is to add the pancetta. Why? The pancetta needs to brown, and as the pancetta will brown, will release a lot of its flavor into the olive oil. The pancetta is Italian-style bacon, but it's treated in a completely different way. What Italians do with the pancetta, primarily, they season it with salt, pepper, onion powder, oregano, and then they let it cure for quite a long time. And during the period of time, the flesh of the pancetta is imbued, including the fat, with all this astonishing flavor. By itself, pancetta tends to be on the salty side, so you will notice that all throughout I don't add a great deal of salt to the dish, because the pancetta right now, as it's reducing, as it's frying into the olive oil, is rendering not only its own fat into the olive oil, but also giving all of these flavors to it. Pancetta is nice and brown. At this point, what I want to do is to move the cooked pancetta away from the pan. In the same oil in which we have cooked the pancetta, we're going to add the shrimp. The shrimp is going to fry into this oil, and there are many things that are very important. The shrimp itself will release its own juices into the olive oil. Why is that important? It's going to give to the oil another additional layer of flavor. As the shrimp cooks, we do not want to cook the shrimp all the way through. Primarily, what we intend to do is to actually cook the shrimp enough so that it's still raw somewhat on the inside, because we are going to be taking the shrimp out, and then we'll reintroduce the shrimp into the sauce. As soon as the shrimp turns pink on one side, turn it onto the other side. Do you need to do it one at a time? You really don't. So why am I doing it? Well, for some people, cooking is a necessity. For me, cooking is a work of love, and it keeps me connected to the shrimp, to what's happening. It makes me feel almost as if I'm an extension of the recipe itself. Is that going to make you a better chef? I don't know, but it works for me. Now it's time for us to take the shrimp out. You can see all the layers of flavors that are left behind into the oil. All those colors are all these ingredients already which have cooked in there, and they are splendid and fantastic. With the oil that's left in the pan, first we add a little bit of red pepper flakes, just to give it some extra heat. And now we go with the other important ingredients, which are the base. A little bit of garlic, nice and thick. Onions. I like to use red onions because they have a lot more flavor for me. At this point, I like to add the pancetta back into the pan. The pancetta is cooked almost all the way through. There's a slight bit of crispness to it that I love. To give it some extra flavor, I like to fry some parsley in it. And then in the original matriciana sauce, you use red wine. However, when I cook with shrimp and I make the shrimp alla matriciana, I like to do a little deglazing with a little bit of white wine. On high heat, you want to reduce this down until it reaches almost a glaze-like consistency. In the glazing that we do, you want to dislodge any brown bits that might have stuck at the bottom of the pan. Even if you use a non-stick pan, there's always something of a layer of flavor that's attached to the bottom. This way, you detach it and you reincorporate it once again into the sauce, achieving the wonderful flavor that really makes a huge difference. Here we go now with our final ingredients. Chicken stock and tomato sauce. If you don't want to use chicken stock, one of the things that you can do instead of using the chicken stock is to actually using the water in which the pasta is cooked. Now I'm going to lower the heat down to a basic simmer, and while the sauce is cooking, I'm going to add the shrimp so that the shrimp finishes cooking right into the sauce, giving to the sauce this wonderful final glazing, its flavor exactly the way we would like to have it. Now, I am ready to add the pasta, but I would like to share with you one more secret that you need to be aware of. What I like to do is to undercook the pasta at al dente-like condition, but even a little bit rawer than al dente. What does it mean? Al dente, translated from Italian, means to the bite. But my idea is to finish the cooking of the pasta not in the water, rather into the sauce. Let me show you what I mean. You can use any kind of pasta you want, short or long, it doesn't make a difference, whatever is fun for you to eat. For me today, the pasta is rigatoni. They remind me of my youth every time we used to go through the region of Lazio, in which the town of Rome is. Rigatoni was served in just about every restaurant and was for us great joy to have it. Now you want to cook this pasta into the sauce until most of the sauce is absorbed. And the difference that this technique makes is significant. Imagine the pasta, if you would, as a very tightly wound coil with many layers to it. And as the pasta cooks into the sauce penetrates layer by layer by layer down to the very core of the pasta. You can see the sauce lessening and lessening always more because most of it already has penetrated inside the pasta. The shrimp is perfectly cooked. And what I love about this moment right here, you can see how the pasta is changing color right in front of you. You can see the pasta and the sauce have become one. And that is a signature of perfection. We got everything that we want. Ready to plate it now? Let me show you how. What I like to do when I serve a pasta like this is to make many layers so that the shrimps are not just on top, rather they're buried underneath the pieces of pasta. And when you dive right into it, to feel that. And the thing that makes this particular pasta very interesting is also the presence of the pancetta. Let me tell you, this is going to be one of those pastas that your family will ask for it over and over and over again. What makes this pasta great? To me, what makes this pasta great is the passion that you place into it. Because life without passion doesn't taste like anything.
This is a book the likes of which you've never seen before. This is a book that by magic takes you to the most beautiful places of your memory. The moments you spent with your family when you were young. Those moments that were full of joy, happiness, and the food that came with it. This is a book that talks back to you and guides you through each step of the making of the recipe. This is a book that takes you through a journey, through a video, showing you every step of everything that needs to be made to create the wonderful food that you once remember having around the table with your family. You will hear their voices. You will see their faces once again. This is a book that's like a portal that takes us to a place where only joyous memory of everything that's beautiful about life lives. This is a book full of stories and recipes and life, the best part of life. Hey, come for the recipe. Stay for the story.